Hello and welcome to Gem Wire Footy episode 17. Well, I'm excited because my good mate Frankie, you're back. For the first time in my whole entire life, I missed you a little bit. 24 days on the road with Shane Crawford, the great man. What an experience.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Dean. It was an amazing experience and something that I'll never forget. Part of my duties at the Footy Show to be with Crawford the whole way. And it was amazing. And Scott Dooley, though, congratulations to him. He did a fantastic job. And I thought I might have been out of a job for a minute, but I'm back here, so...
No, you're lucky.
Couldn't afford to pay him anymore, hey?
Yeah, no, couldn't afford to fly him down anymore. But no, well done to you. What was the highlight of the trip?
I think the highlight of the trip was actually getting on the bike for a little bit and riding alongside Craw.
Here's the photo here of you riding along Craw, Frankie. Now, you made out on Facebook because you put a photo up in the morning and then 9 hours later you put a photo up at the end of the day. So we all thought you rode 175 kilometres of Craw. You rode 20 and cramped up and pulled the pin.
I think I got closer to 100k, I reckon, on the bike there. I certainly felt that way. I cramped up and had to get Albert his cross masseur to fix my cramp in my calf. But the Great Australian Bite across the Nullarbor was an amazing view. And if you ever get a chance to do the Nullarbor, do it and enjoy it because it's an amazing spectacle. Fantastic
stuff. Well, credit where credit's due. You stepped back into Melbourne on Saturday night. Carlton took on the Saints. Yes. The hoodoo is broken. They'd lost 4 in a row, 16 of the past 19. Here's some post-match here on the weekend. Yes. Now, Carlton are surging towards the final, so thank you. Thank you to you.
No, thank you, because I might try and do that again a little bit closer towards September, because that's obviously the most important part of the season. You need to win games in September. So I might go away, come back towards the latter stages of the year and hopefully get them through to the finals.
Yeah, no, beautiful. Well, we are very lucky to have a West Coast Eagles Football Club player on this show. Big Coxie, listen to this for a CV. 6-time All-Australian, best and fairest winner, 2-time Gem Wire Footy panellist now, yes. Coxie. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much for having me, guys.
Now, what happened on the weekend, mate? 2 points up at three-quarter time, but couldn't quite get the job done.
No, really disappointing. Obviously, started and played really well for the 3 quarters and just couldn't maintain that intensity, I think. Obviously, Fremantle are a really good football team and you just got to make sure you play the 420 minutes against sides like that, and we didn't do it. So we looked at the vision and we've got to rectify that against Sydney this week.
Now, Woosha, a lot of talk over here in Melbourne that he's looking very relaxed and maybe his tenure at the West Coast Eagles Footy Club is coming to a close. Can you give us an exclusive and tell us if he's going to sign on or depart at the end of the year?
Hopefully he signs on. I certainly think he'll continue coaching at the footy club. He might look relaxed, but behind closed doors, when we've had the season we've had, he's certainly not that. And just what he demands from the playing group, what he makes sure the players want to buy into is to be a successful footy team, and he hasn't changed his vision with that. And his hunger to still coach, I think, is still there, and that's the most important thing, because once you lose that, then it's time to move on.
So we expect to see Woosha there in 2014 and beyond.
Yeah, I do expect him. So just really excited about hopefully finishing this year off well, and then coming back to a pre-season with him in charge.
Now, Coxie, this is probably the hardest hitting question you're ever going to get in your footy career. We've heard that Josh Kennedy is looking at improving and erasing that stutter of his lining up for goal. Is this true?
No, I think certainly once he does practice it at training, it only goes from a short stutter to games it's a massive stutter. So he does get a little bit nervous. And I think the stutter, obviously, the way he wants to do the stutter is to do it as much as possible, so it takes away the focus of how small his head is. So hopefully he can reduce that and then just keep kicking goals as well.
Well, we heard last week that he was actually trying to get it out of his game and he's been practicing at training, so if you do make finals, the stutter will be completely gone. Is that false?
No, just hopefully if we make finals, he continues kicking at the percentage he's kicking it at the minute. I think, as much as it probably doesn't look good and it's not the correct technique, he's certainly kicking as accurate as anyone in the competition. So if he gets it and stutters, he can do a cartwheel on the way in for a like here as long as he kicks the goal.
That's the irony of it all, that he actually kicks very accurately. What was it like when he first came to the club and you guys started to see him do that at training?
We had no idea what he was doing. Yeah, it was really bizarre. He copped a lot of flack from the boys, and then I think not only from our players, but then it went to the coaches, then it went to our supporters, then it went to obviously the football fraternity. So it's accentuated it a little bit, but he's just really comfortable. The last 3 steps after that stutter is what he's all about.
Now, it's been a funny old season. You're only one game out of the 4 now. You played Sydney this week, and then you've got a good run. I think you've got the Suns, and then you've got the Bulldogs as well, maybe in the other order. But if you can string a few together here, then you're a big chance in September.
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. I think probably the last month of footy we've played has been the best for the year so far. And although we've lost 3 of those 4 games, we've come up against Hawthorn, Essendon and Fremantle and really pushed them to the wire. So just a matter of trying to maintain that. We've got a big challenge this week against Sydney. And then obviously get over that one and hopefully continue our effort against some sides ranked below us. But we've just got to focus now on Sydney and not look too far ahead.
Now, Coxie, I'm not trying to play the devil's advocate here, but you haven't beaten a side in the top 8 this year. So how are you going to counter that?
Yes, I know. Well, I think obviously one of the sides was Carlton. We kicked very inaccurately, pushed those other 3, haven't played Geelong, haven't played Collingwood, so there's a few we haven't played also, and we're in front by Port for a fair bit. So I think certainly our best footy can match it with any one of them. We've just got to make sure we sustain it for the whole 4 quarters and get away with the result we're after.
You've already got a flag, don't worry about it, Coxie. You're all right, mate.
2 out of the 1.
Yeah. Can I hear a baby in the background, Coxie? Is that a parrot or is that your child? I can hear somebody.
Yeah, Charlotte's in the kitchen, screaming. She just woke up, so she wants some attention. But very good to fill in the day, chasing around and trying to entertain a 7-month-old.
Well, we won't be too long, so tell Dad we won't be too long. But we actually thought it might have been one of our good friends who is not only a West Coast fan, Coxie, he's a massive Dean Cox fan. I just want to hold up a photo because he goes to every airport arrival and every training session in Melbourne. So this is a photo that he's had with you, and he tells us how much that all the West Coast players absolutely love him. There's him with you again. That's the second photo, and here's another photo with him. We're not sure how many times you can actually have a photo and how much they'll change in between, but do you recognise this person, Dean?
Yes, I do. Obviously, as you were saying before, ventures around the hotel and at the airports when we do arrive into Melbourne, and probably has the stalker status, but you don't get the benefits of the stalker that he is. So,
have you ever called the police on him, Coxie?
Yeah, no, he's a pest around the boys.
This is great.
But they certainly enjoy him and the support that he does give.
Just before we let you go, mate, on your career, how long do you think you've got left?
I'm not sure. I'm obviously out of contract at the end of this season, and then hopefully continue for another year or 2. I think everything now, once you do get to the stage of my career, is how the body's feeling. And I've always said I won't play footy just for the sake of notching up games or hanging around for too long. I want to make sure that I'll leave the game of AFL when I know I can still play decent football and move to the next part of my life.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, Coxie, thank you very much for your time. You better get back to Charlotte and back to being a dad, but we appreciate your time.
Thank you,
and good luck this weekend against the Swannies.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, mate.
What a ripping bloke, Dean Cox. There you go.
And we didn't do any big Cox jokes the whole show.
No, we're very mature on this show.
That's right. It's all about being mature. Even though we are Gen Y, it's still about being mature Gen Yers.
Now, you're back, so Gen Y, your segment, Gen Y Player of the Week, thanks to Frankie Dean Eyewear. Who wins it this week?
Yes, well, Dean, as we go down to get our Frankie Dean Eyewear glasses, which actually you have on your side of the table.
I have these ones, yes.
Haven't seen much football, obviously, over the last few weeks.
I have, because I've got my Frankie Deans on.
But you have. Going to give it to Croft for the whole month, because what he did for breast cancer was an amazing thing, and he deserves to be recognised for that, which of course he has been. And on Thursday night on the Footy Show, a grand total for donations to the BCNA will be announced, and it'll be something you don't want to miss. Fantastic. They're launching the Sunnies too, Frankie Dean Eyewear, so get on the Frankie Dean Eyewear website. Thank you to Blundstone, thank you to Dean Cox, thank you to Frankie Dean Eyewear. We'll catch you next week on Gen Y Footy.